Hey everybody, this is Evan Abrams, and let's make some slightly better twitching expressions right now. In the earlier versions of this, we've looked at the wiggle, we've used the wiggle on two properties, and now we're going to split those up in a little bit more of a refined way. If you've ever done coding, you know that organization is important. So let's just pull up the expression panel here by hitting P and then alt-clicking on the stopwatch, and now we're going to type stuff in. And let's just give ourselves a lot of room to type. Now, if we want to keep everything organized, we should try to keep everything on different lines, and we should try to use variables as placeholders so that we can really, make better use of this stuff. The first thing we want to do is separate our values. So we know that we're creating an array that is standing in for the X and Y. So let's just put an array down there. So in the end, the output, because code always starts at the top, is going to end with X comma Y, which means we have to start with defining variables. So that means we have to say X equals something and Y equals something. Now, if we want to just have everything remain normal, we would do something like X equals value of kind 1, value of kind 0, so the X is the value of this 0 part of the array, and the Y is the value of this part of the array. Now, here is a common error that everybody gets when you're naming variables. Class global has no property or method named Y. Now that means that it's confusing what you're writing. It's just saying, I don't know what a Y is, it seems to know what an X is, but anyway, that's not important. What's important is there's something wrong with your code. Usually when you get this, it means that you don't have any semicolons. Semicolons are important not only in grammar, but in code, and especially here, because a semicolon ends a line. So basically we're saying X equals value 0, semicolon, that's it, read no more. Read no more of that. And then Y equals value 1. Oh, read no more. No, that's it. That's a definitive statement. That's what I'm saying. And that is it. And then, at the end, take those two values and plug them into an array that looks like this, and we're good to go. So nothing's changed. We haven't changed anything by putting this in. This is just a fancy way of saying what these numbers are already saying. So let's write another line and do something cool. Let's make a new variable. Let's make a variable that's t, or temporary, or time, or whatever. These can be whatever letter you want. And the t will equal random. Now this is a new operation. Generate a random number from -10 to 10. Seems simple enough. Random is one of those things where if you ever need to generate random numbers, just random and then the range that you want those random numbers to fall in, or else you can just let it go nuts. And then semicolon at the end of that. So we've got a t that's going to be a random number, and now let's take the x and add t to it. And when you add a negative, it's taking it away. That's just math, people. So what does that do? Well, that's doing it. That's got our values separated, and we've got a variable controlling only the one part of the expression. Now this will be important later, but this is a much neater code than, hammering out like wiggle, something, comma, something, something, and then just filling in a whole bunch of fucking stuff, and just, you want to break it up onto lines. You want to annotate things like this code is crap. That way, if anyone comes around and reads your work, or you need to make notes for later, you'll be able to leave your work, come back to it. Everything will be nice and organized. So the digital world has infinite space. Use all of the space it gives you. So this is really just about writing neat code and making all that stuff work out for you. So we'll get a little bit more into refining this in the next step, but hopefully this teaches you the important skill of using variables and how to write variables. Like I said, this is going to be one step at a time, so if you want to move ahead, go nuts. If you want to try to stick around here, maybe rewatch this and remember all the fine points of writing this. I know it's a lot to remember, but just remember, semicolons are important. That's the takeaway from this. Writing expressions, semicolons are important. So, I'm Evan Abrams. Thanks for watching. Please check out everything else that is in this series. We're building on a bunch of complicated things. I know expressions is hard for a lot of people. Even advanced users sometimes have problems with expressions. So, you know, take the time, go through them all. Hopefully I'm explaining well enough. If not, just hate on me in the comments. I respond very well to negative criticism, except for criticism about my Canadian accent. Thanks and all. See you around the internet.